Three women, one dead man, and the killer isn't who you think. The hotel staff said room 417 had been quiet all night, which was strange for a place that usually echoed with laughter, arguments, and the low hum of secrets being made and broken. By morning, the quiet felt wrong. That was when the cleaner knocked, got no answer, and used the master key. Thomas Edison was lying on the floor beside the bed, eyes open, as if he had just realized something too late. By noon, the police had sealed off the room. By evening, Detective Rose Blake stepped inside, her gaze sweeping the scene with calm precision. She didn't rush, she never did. People always made mistakes when they rushed. The room smelled faintly of cologne and something metallic beneath it, fear, maybe, lingering in the air. Thomas wasn't supposed to be there alone. The hotel record showed he checked in the night before with a woman, blonde, beautiful, not his wife. Her name was Lisa Carter. Lisa sat in the lobby now, wrapped in a borrowed cardigan, her makeup smudged, but her composure surprisingly steady. Rose studied her from across the room before finally sitting down. "You left before midnight," she said. Lisa nodded. "We argued." "About what?" She hesitated, just enough to be noticed. He said he couldn't leave his family. That this, she gestured vaguely, was a mistake. Rose watched her carefully. No panic, no desperation, just tired honesty. "So you walked out?" "Yes." "And he was alive when you left?" Lisa met her eyes, very much alive. Upstairs, the body told a quiet story. No signs of struggle, no broken furniture, just a single glass on the table, half filled with whiskey. Another glass in the sink. Clean. Too clean. Rose didn't like things that were too clean. Thomas' phone was still on the nightstand, locked but buzzing occasionally with unread message. Rose handed it to the tech team, then turned back to the room. Her instinct told her this wasn't about passion. It wasn't messy enough. Crimes of jealousy usually left chaos behind. This one felt planned. By the next morning, Rose paid a visit to Thomas' wife. Emma Edison opened the door with red eyes but steady hands. She had the look of someone who had already cried enough to dry out her grief. Behind her, a young girl sat quietly on the couch, clutching a stuffed animal like it was the only stable thing left in her world. "This is my daughter Sophie," Emma said softly. Rose nodded. "I'm sorry for your loss." Emma gave a small tired smile. "People keep saying that like it changes anything." Rose didn't argue. "Did you know your husband was at the hotel?" she asked gently. Emma shook her head. "I knew something was wrong. Late nights, phone calls he'd take outside. But I didn't know this." Rose studied her face. No flicker of guilt, no hidden fear, just hurt. "Did he have enemies?" Emma let out a hollow laugh. "He was a businessman. Of course he had enemies." That caught Rose's attention. What kind of business? Investment, partnership, deals I didn't always understand. That was where things started to shift. Back at the station, Rose dug deeper. Thomas Edison wasn't just a businessman. He was drowning in bad deals, hidden debts, angry partners, money that didn't belong to him. And then there was one name that kept appearing, Mark. Rose leaned back in her chair. Mark wasn't just a business partner. He was the kind of man who didn't like losing money and definitely didn't like being betrayed. The next stop was Mark's office. Mark Downton greeted Rose with a firm handshake and a practiced smile. "Terrible thing about Thomas," he said. "Shocking, was it?" Rose asked calmly. Mark smiled, just for a second. "What do you mean?" "Thomas owed you money." Mark shrugged. "Business has risk. Large risk." Rose added, "Enough to ruin someone." Mark leaned forward. "Are you accusing me of something, detective?" Rose didn't answer immediately. She let the silence stretch. People hated silence. They filled it with truth. "You were at the hotel last night," Rose said finally. Mark froze. "Security footage showed you came in through the side entries." She continued. "Avoided the front desk, went straight to the elevators." Mark's jaw tightened. "We had a meeting. At midnight? In secret?" Thomas was panicking, said Mark. Everything was falling apart. He begged me for more time. And you gave it to him? Mark's eye darkened. I told him there are consequences for betrayal. Rose leaned closer. Did those consequences involve poison in his drink? Mark's composure cracked, but only slightly. I didn't kill him. Then who did? Rose asked. Mark hesitated again. There was someone else, he said quietly. A woman. Rose's eyes narrowed. Lisa? No, Mark said. Another one. That changed everything. Back at the hotel, Rose reviewed the footage again, this time slower, frame by frame. And there she was, easy to miss the first time. A woman in a hotel uniform, housekeeping, pushing a cart. She entered room 417 and never showed up on the exit footage. Rose's pulse quickened. The hotel staff list led her straight to her. Her name was Clara Evans. When Rose found her, she didn't run. She didn't even pretend. She just looked tired. It's over, isn't it? Clara said softly. Rose nodded. Why? Clara swallowed hard. Because he deserved it. Rose stayed quiet. He ruined my life, Clara continued. 3 years ago, he convinced my brother to invest everything in one of his deals, promised huge returns. It collapsed. My brother lost everything and he couldn't handle it. Her voice broke. He took his own life. Rose felt the weight of her words but didn't let it show. So you got a job here, Rose said. Clara nodded. I waited, watched, and when I saw his name on the booking list, I knew it was time. The drink? Rose asked. I switched the glass when he wasn't looking, Clara said. It was quick. He didn't even notice. Rose exhaled slowly. Another life destroyed. Another chain reaction of choices and consequences. As they led Clara away, Rose didn't feel victory. Just a quiet understanding that Justin didn't always feel like relief. A week later, the case was closed. Thomas Edison was gone. Clara Evans was in custody, and the truth, heavy as it was, had settled into place. Rose stood outside Emma's house one last time. Emma opened the door, Sophie peeking from behind her again. It's over? Emma asked. Rose nodded, yes. Emma closed her eyes briefly, then stepped aside. Inside, the house felt different. Still sad, but steady. There's something else, Rose said. She handed Emma a document. Thomas had a life insurance policy, a large one he had taken out quietly months before everything fell apart. Emma's hand trembled as she read it. This will take care of us, she whispered. Rose nodded. It will. For the first time, Emma's eyes filled with something other than grief. Hope. Sophie looked up at her mother. Are we going to be okay? Emma pulled her close, holding her tightly. Yes, she said softly, we are. Rose stepped outside. The case was over. The truth had been found. And somehow, in the middle of betrayal, death and revenge, something good had survived. Not everything ends in darkness. Sometimes, even in the worst stories, there is still a way forward. One man's secrets destroyed lives, but not everyone lost everything. Follow for more powerful stories that hit deeper than this. And comment below, who did you think the killer was?